If you're a worship leader or a background vocalist at your church, or if you want to become one of those two, stick around, this video is for you. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Leanese, and I just wanted to say, hey, what's up? How you doing? How you been? How's your day? How's it going? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome back to my channel. Today is Worship Wednesday, and I'm so pumped for this video. And the reason why I'm so pumped is because I've always wanted to share with you guys what I do to prepare for worship. And I don't mean the spiritual side of it, of like, you know, what my devotional time is like or what my prayer time is like. That's number one. That's key. That's gotta be there. I mean more like what I do to learn my songs, what techniques I use in my day-to-day life to help that process move along, make it faster, make it more efficient. So I'm gonna tell you guys all about what I do to get from when I get a notification that I'm requested to serve all the way to when I go on the platform on Sunday for worship. Before I get into what I do, how I do it, what my process is, I have to preface this by saying, guys, I am not a professional. I'm not classically trained. These are things that I've picked up throughout my entire life as a singer, as someone who sings at church. So these are just amateur tips and tricks that work for me. If you have any tips or tricks for how you learn your stuff, write them down below, because I'd like to learn it as well. I'd like to apply it, see if it works for me. So the first thing that happens is I get requested to serve. At my church, we use this app called Planning Center. A lot of churches around the United States use it, and it's a very cool app for churches to organize themselves, to organize all the volunteers that they have. I get scheduled on Planning Center by my worship leader or my worship pastor, and then I get to go into the app and accept or decline the invitation. I usually accept the invitation, and the reason why I usually accept is because I actually go ahead of time and block out the dates that I'm not available. So if I know that I'm not going to be available to serve, I'm going to go in ahead of time and block out not available due to out of state or family fun day, whatever. So usually I accept because I have already pre-populated the days that I'm not available to serve. Back to the invitation. I accept the invitation. Once I accept the invitation, I can go into the plan for that particular service. I can see what the setup of the service looks like. The next thing that I can see on the Planning Center app is the song. I can check out the lyrics. I can listen to the song in different ways. So usually we'll get the song, and we can also get the click track or just the isolated vocals, and that is such a great tool for learning. The next thing that I do that I really encourage you to do when you're about to learn a song or a set of songs is to just listen. Take out your phone or put it up on your computer and just listen to the songs without thinking too much about it, and just vibe with it, right? Just listen to the song. Once I've listened to the song or the songs, I will get the lyrics. I get the lyrics in two different ways. I will either go straight to the app, the Planning Center app, and print the lyrics, because I can do that. I can just hit print and they'll go straight to my printer and I can print them. Or if I know it's a challenging song, I actually take the time to handwrite it. And it's because I'm a kinesthetic learner. So I like to do things to learn them. And so the act of writing out the lyrics is me listening to the song, thinking about the words, writing them down, reading them. So I'm just receiving the information in many different ways. So depending on the situation, I'll either print it or write it. Unless it's a song that I already know. This is what I do to learn new material or material that I need to refresh on. The next thing that I do is I find myself a pen and a highlighter, and I put pen to paper and I listen to the song. And with my pen, I start taking little notes, making little scribbles on what I need to remember, what stands out to me about the song. So some notes that I like to take are, when do we sing in unison? When is it just the worship leader? Is there a solo in the song? When do we break into harmony? How many harmonies do we break out into? When should I breathe? Is there a pause? When should I build? When should I, Those are all the little notes that I like to take. So my notes make sense to me and they help me learn the music. The next thing that I do is I will listen to the songs either on speakerphone or with headphones or on a little speaker, and I'll go through the notes that I took. Do they make sense? Finally, and the most important thing to me is I maximize my time. Just like a lot of you guys, I am a volunteer at my church. I'm not a full-time employee of my church, which means that I have this huge, busy life around me, and so do you. So how do we maximize our time so that we are putting in enough time to learn the songs, learn the lyrics, learn the dynamics? And that is the detail. My battery is dying! I'm gonna come back to y'all. Worship Wednesday, take 2. Sorry about that, guys. My battery died. I had to replace it. And so if there's a little bit of not continuity with like the background and how I fit, that's basically why. But back to what I was saying, I maximize my time. And what do I do to maximize my time? I'm listening to the set list when I'm in the shower, when I'm doing dishes, when I'm just chilling at my house, when I'm driving somewhere. If I'm at work and I'm able to sit at my desk and listen to music, I'll do that as well. So really taking advantage of the time that I have to let the set list soak in. Even if it's playing in the background, it's still soaking in some degree. That's not going to take away the time that I put in consciously trying to learn it, but it is going to be beneficial. Hey guys, this is like a little drop in. As I was editing this video, I realized that I forgot to add in 2 things. One thing that I do for some songs is that I'll record myself. I'll whip out my phone and I'll record myself singing the song to make sure that I'm hitting the right notes. And then I'll play back and listen to it again. Like I said, this is something that I do occasionally if it's a super new song or a song that maybe I have a solo in and I want to make sure that I'm hitting the right notes. When I'm learning it initially, I will record myself. Another thing that I do is I'll actually take my in-ear monitors. I'll listen to the set list with my in-ear monitors. And what this does is a couple of things. It isolates the sound. I will only hear the music and not like my dog barking in the background or someone coming in the door. And another thing that it does is it gets me used to wearing my in-ears. I've had my in-ears for a long time now, the same pair, about 1.5 years. I've got a video on these. I'll link it down below. Anyways, so I've had these in-ears for a little while now, and I'm totally used to them. However, if you look at recordings from church, you see that sometimes I'm fumbling with my in-ears and the fit, and maybe I'm not hearing something right. So listening to the set list with my in-ears gets me used to having them in my ears, even 2 years after I've had them. So those are the 2 tips that I forgot to record in there. Those are the things that I implement to learn the set list for worship on any given Sunday when I'm scheduled to serve. But aside from that, I do have some tips, which is learn new stuff before rehearsal. So for example, at my church, we have rehearsal for the worship team once a week. And the expectation from my leaders, which are my worship leader and my worship pastor, is that I show up to practice knowing my stuff, and that practice is just to refine, practice is just to get it right. And if there is a particularly challenging thing, then yes, as a team, we'll go over it, we'll dissect it, we'll learn it together. But really, take your music seriously, because at the end of the day, we're doing it for God. At the end of the day, we should do it in excellence. Which brings me to my next point. At my church, we have a culture of doing things in excellence, which means giving it your all, giving it your best. That doesn't mean being perfect. Being perfect is going to tie you down to feeling defeated when you miss the mark. Being excellent is going to push you to improve. It's going to push you to be better than what you were yesterday. So because we have this culture that's just ingrained in us as a congregation, those are the expectations from my leaders as well. And that's the expectation that I put on myself. If I'm not, striving for excellence, but the vocalist next to me is, it's going to show, and I'm gonna be the one dragging the whole team down. Another thing that I think is important to keep in mind when you're learning a set list is learn the songs as they are. As singers and as musicians, we love music. We love the expression that comes with it. And sometimes we get really excited about ad-lib, which is super great. Creativity is amazing. It's important, and it's just part of how we're wired. However, when it comes to a worship set list, there's a time and a place. The artist, the writer, the composer, the producer, they created this song with a purpose and in a certain manner for a reason. It's our job to interpret that. There's times in which it's totally appropriate to ad-lib. It's totally appropriate to go outside of that box. And I think that if you're in tune in your daily devotional, you'll be able to gauge that. But when you're interpreting a song for worship, especially corporate worship, where the whole church is singing along with you, learn the song as is and interpret it as is, because the church, the congregation, is going to be singing the song how they know it. I wouldn't recommend worship to be the moment that you get all creative. There are times you will recognize them. Go for it when it's the right time. That's my suggestion, my recommendation, and how I approach learning. I think I have covered everything that I wanted to cover today for what I do to learn a worship set list and prepare for Sunday. If there's anything that I missed or anything that you want a little bit more detail or clarification on, let me know. I would love to, speak more in detail with you guys, answer your questions in the comment section, or even make a follow-up video to this with more in-depth information. And that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you found this informative. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope this helps you in your journey of worship. I love you guys. Before you leave, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and comment down below what else you want to see on Worship Wednesday. Bye, guys.